Hello dear chess lovers, today I want to show you a new game between Dr. SIEGBERT Tarrasch and Max KUERCHNER. This game was played in Nuremberg in 1889. When this game was played, Dr. Tarrasch was 27 years old and KUERCHNER was 36 years old. Dr. Tarrasch, one of the best players in chess history. Let's see this party. White player Tarrasch, e4, black played e5, king's pawn opening, knight f3, knight c6, developing knights, bishop b5, Ruy Lopez, knight f6, Berlin defense, castle short, knight takes e4, and open Ruy Lopez, d4, knight d6, d takes e5, temporary piece sacrifice, after knight takes b5, a4, and now white regain his piece because there is no safe square for b5 black knight. Knight goes to d6. That was mistake. Instead of this, black has to continue with d6. After a takes b5, knight jumps to e5. And now, if knight takes knight, d takes knight, queen takes queen, king takes queen. After that, black has one more pawnette and bishop pair. So black's position is better than white. In the game, after knight d6, bishop g5, now bishop e7. Bishop takes bishop, queen takes bishop, that was mistake. Instead of this, black has to take with knight. After e takes d6, c takes d6, knight c3 developing castle short, rook e1, d5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5. Black gave up material and now the game is almost equal. After developing this bishop, black's position is equal. But in the game, after queen takes e7, e takes d6, c takes d6, another mistake. Instead of taking this pawn with pawn, black has to take with queen. Rook e1 check, king d8, queen takes queen, c takes queen, knight g5. Now knight wants to take f7 and fork. Rook f8, defending pawn, knight c3, h6 attacking knight, knight g to e4, knight b4, rook a to d1, d5, knight d6, knight takes c2, rook e2, d4, knight c2, b5, a6, rook takes c2, a takes b5, and black's position is slightly better because of d6 knight. In the game, after c takes d6, rook e1, knight jumps to e5, knight takes d4, now white's threat is f4 and gaining the pink knight. So black in the game played queen f6 and queen is now preventing f4, pawn push. Knight c3, castle short, knight jumps to d5 and attacking queen, queen h4, rook a3, knight g4, now black's queen and knight are both attacking f2 and h2. After this move, the game is equal. Rook h3, mistake made by Dr. Tarrasch. Instead of this, rook g3, queen takes h2 check, king f1, queen h1, king e2, queen h5, knight jumps to f5. Now if black takes, knight jumps to e7, royal fork. So this knight is untouchable. King goes to h8 because of the pin on g file. Knight takes g5, king takes g5, and white's position is better. In the game, after rook h3, queen takes f2, king goes to h1, f5, defending knight. That was mistake. Instead of this, black has to continue with b6 and want to develop his bishop. Rook f1, bishop a6. Now if rook takes, knight takes and royal fork, so black's position is better. Knight f6, queen takes f6, rook takes f6, knight takes f6. In this position, white has a queen against black's rook and bishop, but the game is almost equal because black has two more pawns ahead. In the game, after f5, knight e7 check, king goes to f7, knight d to f5, queen takes f5, clearing the f2 square for black knight. If Knight takes queen, knight jumps to f2, royal fork, but in this position, Dr. Tarrasch played rook f3, pinning the queen. Queen takes f3, queen takes queen check, knight f6, knight f5, king g8, knight takes d6, rook b8. There is no counter chance for blacks. Queen b3 check, king h8, knight f7. If rook takes after queen takes and white's position is winning, king has to go g8, knight h6, double check, king has to go h8. Now white wanted to make smothered mates, but if white plays queen g8 after knight takes, knight f7, there is no mate. Rook takes f7. Rook is now controlling f7 square, and now white played rook e8. If now rook takes or knight takes after queen g8 and knight f7, smothered mate. So this rook is untouchable. In this position, black resigned. If black continues like g6, queen f7, knight g8, queen takes, rook takes f8, g5, queen takes g8, mate. In this position after g6 and queen f7, if black takes rook, queen takes knight and mate. So there is no defense after rook sacrifice, 27th move, and black resigned. Dr. Tarrasch won this game with great performance. If you like this match, like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. See you on later videos. Goodbye.